And welcome back. It's time for our Unscripted Book Club, and joining me now is Vicki Hicks with the Springfield Greene County Library. Always good to see you. Okay, before we get into these books, we do want to give a little kind of alert here. So due to the weather, there's been a few changes, a few things happening. So tell us what's going on with this.
First of all, the book sale is on.
Yeah.
It starts at 10 a.m. this morning. Unfortunately, we were closed for preview night last night because there was no power.
Yeah.
But it's going to run the rest of the week unless there's another power outage. Hopefully none of those.
Okay.
And we do have one library branch that is closed due to the power issue, and that's the library station on North Kansas Expressway.
Okay, so just things to keep in mind, and I'm sure you guys will continue to alert people on updates and things like that.
And you can find it on our website, which is
thelibrary.org. It's literally perfect. So, okay, so let's get into book club. So the first one we're talking about is this book called James. Tell me about it.
James is a retelling of Huckleberry Finn.
Okay.
Except it's from the perspective of the slave James that was on the raft as they floated down the Mississippi River.
Oh,
so we learn about James's life, and we learn about all the way he has to interact with people. He's a very intelligent man. Wonderful novel, is one of the best sellers of last year.
Yeah.
And side hint, it may be important to the library next year as we host one read.
Yes.
So you might want to check this one out as soon as you can.
Yes, spoiler alert.
Yes.
Okay, so obviously Huckleberry Finn is really just this classic in the world of literature. Well, everyone's probably read it or maybe had to read it during school or whatever that looks like for you. So for fans that did, or readers that did love Huckleberry Finn, what will they maybe appreciate about James, or what is maybe different about it that will, you know?
The perspective is so different.
Okay.
Because as a white boy,
Yeah.
Huckleberry Finn was treated very differently than his slave.
Yeah.
And so at times they have to pretend as if James is the slave of Huckleberry. It's just a very interesting dynamic.
Yeah.
And to see it from the perspective of a black man trying to escape.
Yeah.
And so it's very fascinating.
Well, and it's interesting in the sense that, you know, we don't always get the other perspective, you know, in another book setting when it comes to this classic book with these very specific characters. I think this is a really interesting take that I think a lot of people really enjoy, so I'm excited.
Exactly, and to be honest with you, I never read Huck Finn. So you don't have to read Huck Finn to read James.
Okay, that's
So
good to
keep
know.
that in mind.
All right, next one. Is it Isola? How do you say this?
I don't know.
Whatever you want.
Whatever
Okay.
you want. This one is fascinating because it's of a regal, a royal from the 1700s, late
Okay.
1700s. It's a young lady whose parents die, so she's orphaned.
Oh.
Her guardian squanders all of her inheritance.
Oh.
And so her guardian is headed off to New France, which is actually Canada,
Okay.
to settle, and he takes her with him. And due to a series of events, she gets stranded on a desert, on an island by herself in Canada. 2 years. So it's very fascinating. There's 3 parts: her life leading up to the boat trip itself, and then her life on the island.
Oh my.
And I mean, she's royalty, so she doesn't know how to fish. She doesn't know how to take care of
things have
things.
always been taken care of for her.
uh-huh.
What an interesting concept. It makes me think of that whole stupid question that people always ask. It's like, if you were stuck on an island, what 3 things would you want with you? You know, and then you're
Yeah.
like, and how would that benefit me? That's what I think about with this book.
And we play that in our head all the time.
Yeah.
And so this is fascinating to see during that time period, what did she do to survive?
That's Vicki. If you were stuck on an island, what 3 things would you want?
I'd want a dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need a companion.
Yes, you need a companion. I would want books.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a
Yeah.
librarian. And I don't fresh water.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Those are all good options, I think.
What are you going to take?
I don't know. That's really smart. I don't really know how to fish, but I guess like a fishing rod might be helpful. Here's the thing, you know this. I'm not a huge reader, but maybe a book just to have something to help pass the time. Maybe that would be the time to get into reading. I don't know.
Yeah, or an encyclopedia set.
yeah.
You know, you could bring it all.
Yeah,
learn
and then I
about it all.
think just some kind of like water bottle, because you could always boil the water if you don't have fresh. You know what I mean? Like, there's ways around that. So something along those. I don't know. That's such a crazy concept.
Yeah,
though. I
yeah,
love
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Okay, and then lastly we have First.
First Lie Wins.
First Lie Wins. Okay.
By Ashley Elston. This is fascinating because she's undercover, not as a government official or anything. She goes in through the instruction of Mr. Smith.
Okay.
And she retrieves items for bribery's sake.
Oh, okay.
So she inputs herself into people's lives. She does all the research, and then retrieves whatever Mr. Smith wants, and then gets paid handsomely. So this is her story as she goes undercover, and lots of plot twists and turns. Fascinating. Kept me on the edge of my seat. Read it in like a day and a half.
Okay. So, I think about like that kind of like spy slash thriller slash whatever you want to call it in all forms of kind of, consumerism right now is such a big genre for a lot of people. So what do you think makes this one stand out?
Because there's so many plot twists. So that keeps you, and the hero's a female, so that keeps you interested. You will notice on Isola,
Yeah.
whatever her name is, and First Lie Wins. These are both Reese Witherspoon picks, and I generally tend towards whatever she selects is
Yeah.
going to be really good,
Absolutely.
and generally is.
Yeah.
So I would highly recommend taking a look at her list as
Yeah.
well.
I love
and
that.
I bought all of these at the book sale.
There you go. Look at that. So you got
Look
to
at
check
that,
it out. Yeah.
bestsellers on all of them, and I got them all at the book sale
So the book sale opens today at 10. How long does that run for?
through Sunday.
Okay, through Sunday.
Yeah.
And if people want more information, one more time on everything happening, how do they get that?
For the book sale specifically, you go to the library.org/friends,
Okay.
or you just go to our general website, thelibrary.org, and you can get to everything you need to know.
Perfect. You guys make it so easy. Vicki, thank you so much for being here.
you.
It's always a pleasure seeing you.
you.